May 13th was the day life changed forever. It's the day I knew what was going on. One day later she would admit to a 2-year affair with her boss. We'd been married for 20 years. I posted in this sub early in the morning of a sleepless night. Most people said she isn't really remorseful, and she only wants my money. More than anything I was told to leave. There were a few though that gave some advice on staying. For 2 weeks I wrestled with what to do and I decided to try and reconcile. How to Help Your Spouse Heal from Your Affair was recommended and I asked my wife to get the book. She did and it was an absolute life changer for the both of us. The Courage to Stay was a book that really helped me sort through all of the things I was feeling. There are other resources out there, but if you are considering reconciliation, these two were amazingly helpful for me. In the 4 months since I have contemplated many things. I watched my wife spontaneously sob in the middle of the night, filled with grief over what she had done and the ramifications of her choice. I've seen her take full responsibility for her choice, and she never blamed me. I've cried more than I have in my entire life. I also thought back to my mistakes. 4 years she told me so many times she was feeling lonely and disconnected. I'd try and be more present but would fall back into old habits. Finally, she felt she had no other way to fill the void I had left. Most people don't wake up one day and just decide to cheat. Sure, some do, but for the majority it's a slow, painful choice. One of the books gave this example. It's like having a broken arm, but instead of seeking medical care, the cheating partner seeks out unhealthy ways to stop the pain. Some people will read this and think that I'm weak for staying, and that's okay. But I have found that the strongest thing people can do is forgive. Sometimes that isn't possible. Sometimes a partner has cheated multiple times, they show no remorse, or they blame the person that has been wronged. Those types of people are likely beyond forgiveness. If you are thinking of staying, consider a few things. Are they remorseful? Did they take full responsibility? Will they make concessions and allow you full access to their phones and social media accounts? Will they break off all contact? Also consider what you may have done to lead them to this choice. I still think about it every day. Sometimes I still cry. Sometimes I'm angry. But I'm also healing. My wife and I are able to share our feelings with an openness that had been missing for years. I decided that I wouldn't let her affair define me. I decided not to judge her on her worst moments, but for her reaction and actions since D-Day. Don't feel weak if you want to reconcile. Seriously consider if it's something you can do, but if you decide to, I just want to assure you that you can be happy again. I do not blame myself for her choice. I do understand that I was a pretty poor husband for a long time in our relationship. Ultimately, she was the one that made the choice. She is the one at fault. She has NC with AP. She reported the affair to HR and he was fired and she was transferred to a new department. She is not completely forgiven. I assure you there is a long road to recovery, but I am not afraid of taking it. We are both in counseling. Finally, I didn't come back to comment for a few days, because I knew that the majority of the responses would be just as they are. However, I am hopeful that there are people that didn't respond that I possibly gave a little hope to.